Hi, my name is Sofia. I am a student in UNLA, and on this video, we're going to speak about leadership in the global environment. This is the content of the first portion, and I hope you enjoy it. In this first portion, we have analyzed from the theory of what leadership implies, the theory of the great man who also says that a person is able to be a leader, some differences between leaders and managers until we got into the theories of why there is not only one type of leader. Today, for us, it is important to understand that there are new needs to be able to have some type of leadership. Within the history of this concept, in other times we have analyzed who were conceived as leaders. This called my attention particularly because in each era we can see changes around the society. That is a factor that I consider super important because that influenced in the way that in which we manage in the past, and that defines or has defined the traits that people should have like to guide a society towards a common goal. Today we need like a global perspective to act locally actually, and from this point I can better explain what this concept sort of is. Leadership itself is not a gift for me. It is a skill that anyone can learn. One way to compare it to me also it is through education, and we have some certain types of education. Of course, we have traditional education that I suppose that you know that it's something like a square model and defined themes where people like trained with homogeneity, and on the other hand we have like the Montessori education where the children's skills are taken into account to maximize their potential in the area that they stand out. To me, I have an idea, and our idea of what means to be a leader, it's something similar. Before, we believed that we had to be born with this kind of abilities, and later we thought that we had to follow like a manual to have this behavior. Their perspectives were always like inclined, sorry, like towards what was well done or badly done, when in reality it's not about that. It's about finding your skills and apply them into your right context. It is not really about having a title or a position, but about the influence, the capacity of openness, and the adaptability that you can have as a person. That is why to me it's important to know and grow your skills so that you can have the freedom to actually use it. All of these theories have given me the opportunity to understand that in this search to understand leadership in its like current context, there is not such thing as black and white as I have here in the other diapositive. um, there is not such thing as black and white. It is difficult to polarize like such a broad concept to me because it will be like wanting to define something and enclose it in a single definition when in reality there are many nuances and ways to be a leader. And this breadth is what is has created these new foundations sort of to be able to lead with full awareness. And there are leaders everywhere, not just on a corporate way, but there's in music, there's in politics, in religion, and each one of these leaders has their own purpose and needs to take into account actually. To me, another important thing to learn and understand is the fact of being able to recognize all of the mistakes that were made in the past that allows us to understand things that must be changed. And as I already mentioned before, regardless of the type of leader that you are, it gives you some sense of resilience. And that in turn gives you decision making skills that actually impact the influence that you have in view of society, seeing it from like a positive point of view, of course, and that is what it is. Why it is important to be able to understand others from their perspective. In conclusion, actually, people does not need to be like imposed, but it needs to be guided in a way that they can have an example of how being open minded can lead them as a whole to think for themselves and not force them to think. That will be it.